Nuggets.
Alright, what is going on, guys? SpitefulHopes back again, coming at you with a video that I think, I mean, it's kind of low effort, but I mean, it is what it is. I was trying to think of something, and I'm like, hey, you know what, Extreme Co-op's coming out. I'm actually in Extreme Co-op, and I've been wanting to do a top 10 for a while, but I'm kind of lazy about it, so let's just get right into it. Top 10 heart units to use for Extreme Co-op. Now, I mean, it's kind of self-explanatory, this one. So enemy killer abilities are going to be Soul Reaper killer, so Soul Reaper is going to be taking a lot of damage, so be very careful when it comes to that. Fortunately, as you see here, non-heart attribute character stats are halved, so you definitely want to use a heart character. I have tried using a max transcended character to try to bypass it. Honestly, a max transcended unit that is actually really good, I feel fares as good as an SP level 5 1 of 5 special move character that isn't that OP. It's just like kind of like an average character, but just be very careful with that. Honestly, if you have a heart character, if you have a max link slotted, if you have them at least SP level 10 attack level SP base character level 10, then that's probably what you're going to want to be using. Keep in mind the 7th seed Extreme Co-op sucks. 3rd seed Extreme Co-op, you're actually guaranteed brushes. I noticed that a lot of people end up trying to farm 7th seed Extreme Co-op. I would only farm that to buy out what you want from the shop. Don't try to buy out everything. Next on the list, enemy affiliations are hollow and no affiliation. So obviously Mugetsu is going to be a king here. So let's just get right into it. Hollow and no affiliation. Unfortunately, Shuhei isn't getting his killer bonus, but I do think that Shuhei will make a very, very good case for actually being useful here. Going into the characters themselves, Shuhei in and of itself can be used as a range and a melee character, so even though he doesn't have killer, I think that he'll perform very, very well here. His kit is actually pretty good. He has the lunge for a strong attack, second strong attack is going to be that vacuum explosion style ability, and then his third strong attack is just a standard full screen. Honestly, just the fact that he can play as range and melee, in my opinion, makes him very, very, very valuable. Next on the list, I want to go over Mugetsu, because I think Mugetsu is probably going to be the king here. But let's just start filtering out those with killers, because I want to go over those primarily. I just wanted to bring up Shuhei because I feel like you can really make a really, really, really good case for him. So Mugetsu, and I kind of wish that it was only one at a time. I don't think you would want to run. Halibut could be useful. Toshiro is actually going to be pretty good here because you do want a range character, right? Okay. Oh, movie Ichigo is going to get some play? That's amazing. Sorry, I actually really love that movie Ichigo. Quite a lot, actually. And then, of course, you have Apache, and then Ruruka. Alright, so just going into the main staples of this week's co-op is definitely going to be Shuhei to fill in those spaces for the melee and range. Since he also is a recent unit, chances are newer players probably have him, and if they were able to get into 3rd seed, they're probably going to be using him, and I think that that's actually a good thing. Being able to get disconnected from your friends and then being able to actually finish the run, I think is probably the most important thing when it comes to Extreme Co-op, because every now and then you might disconnect, and then when you can't finish the run, congratulations, you just wasted a ticket if you're hosting. If not, I guess there's no real big penalty, but I mean, it's still annoying. Next on the list, of course, Mugetsu is going to be the, lo and behold, prize of this entire selection. Coming in with a hollow and no affiliation killer, both of them, which is actually quite mad. He has a lunge for a strong attack, the 800 circular AoE in front, and then just a standard full screen third strong attack with weaken on all of his abilities, including his ultimate. Able to clap cheeks as well as have his sprinter +2 with his debilitator. This character is definitely going to be very, 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 very good. However, you're still going to need a range character, and that's where these other characters are going to come into play. Halibut, I'm not quite sure on her kit. I don't remember her being bad, just mid, right? So shave, range collision, first strong attack, magnification 14, that's pretty mediocre. That's actually really mediocre. Second strong attack is going to be a crawling vortex. That's not too bad for Extreme Co-op because there is, if you're not hosting, there's going to be lag just naturally. And then full screen third strong attack. So overall, definitely not bad. Obviously there could be worse, but like I don't think that she's actually too shabby. You have weaken on all of her attacks, and then you have debilitator on that as well as frenzy. She'll perform fine, and she has Hollow Killer, so like she has killer advantage against these enemies. Next on the list, Toshiro, probably going to be one of the better range characters to use. He is a premium pool character, so a lot of people are going to be running him with SP level 10, maybe even 3 of 5 to 5 of 5. If they have a max transcended, you're pretty much getting like a free carry. I'm not gonna lie. With his barrier, he'll be able to provide excellent support, and of course he has his special move, which he does have freeze on quite a lot of his abilities, right? Next on the list, Movie Ichigo. I think Movie Ichigo will perform very, very well. You do have Frenzy on him, strong attack recharge 14%, so he's going to pump out his strong attacks fairly well. Lunge for strong attack, and then beyond full screen slightly, right? 1080 radius, not 1200 like a lot of these full screen third strong attacks, but I feel like that Havoc really did save him. And then his second strong attack is the AoE into AoE distant. It is full on melee collision. Does he even have a similar? Yeah, no one's similar second strong attack, but it's not a bad second strong attack. I actually quite like it. All right. I'll be real with you, I have a little bit of bias towards this Ichigo. He's probably one of my favorite designed Ichigos because he is like Bankai Ichigo but playable. If that makes sense. And last but not least, Loli. Now, Loli does have Berserker 20% along with Frenzy and Guard Break. She does have a no affiliation killer, which normally would hold her back quite a little bit. But the fact that she is a neutral attribute, I'm thinking Guild Quest. I'm like acting like this is a review, right? But the fact that she has no affiliation killer as well as the Guard Break means that she actually is going to perform very, very well. Now, if I remember correctly, she has the 975 third strong attack. Yes, sir. Yeah, so this third strong attack, in my opinion, is very, very, very good. She has burn on all of her attacks, as well as a beam for strong attack, the 2500 length, which is nice. She doesn't have Havoc 20%, which kind of holds her back a little bit, but I don't think it's the end of the world for her. And then her second strong attack is the same one as Hikone, Kisuke, Tokinata, for those that are familiar with that style of ability. However, since she doesn't have a boost or a barrier, the cooldown on it is 16 seconds. So if you're running strong attack recharge, she's going to be getting that a lot more frequently, and being able to crowd control in extreme co-op, in my opinion, can be very, 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 very strong. The fact that she's a range character, honestly, in my opinion, I feel like the go-to characters are going to be like 2 Loli, either 2 Mugetsu and 2 Loli, and then mix up one of the Mugetsus or one of the Lolis with a Shuhei, just so that you have that that debuff for the final boss if you can't one-shot, right? I think that Shuhei will perform very, very, very well despite not having killer here. Alright, so let's reset the filters, and then let's just go into these hard characters that I think will perform very well. Retsu should perform very, very well here. She has a human killer, which normally holds her back, but like in extreme co-op, you don't need killer. It's just very helpful, right? It's not like Inheritance Zone where you're getting like ×3 boosted killer, right? So you have the 2500 length beam, full screen third strong attack, 800 circular AoE, not too shabby. Retsu, excuse me, Rukia. I like how we were talking about Retsu, and then I called Rukia Retsu. Rukia, in my opinion, is actually going to be pretty good here. She does have weaken on her attack. She has last ditch as well, so if you're running with lag, she might not be too shabby to run either. You have Senju Maru, which provides barriers and stuff. Like, we're going to be going over right now. We're going over characters that don't have killer, but I think will perform very, very well. Now, Senju Maru does have lacerate, which means that bosses won't be able to use their insta kill mechanics, which could be very, very, very helpful. Being able to just proc the lacerate immediately just with their special move to make sure that the enemy doesn't do what they want to do to you. She has a beam for strong attack, full screen third, as well as a standard barrier move for the second strong attack, so even more protection there. And she does have Havoc 20%, so that means that she has a 3000 length beam, 1200 AoE third strong attack, and damage to lacerated enemies plus 40%. So she's going to be dealing quite a bit of damage to those enemies, which is, in my opinion, very, very, very helpful. Alright, so let's check out who else would be pretty good here. If you're trying to auto, Soifon might not be too shabby. Tokinata is going to be godlike anywhere he goes. So if you have like gold chappies on him with attack level 10, he's going to slow the runs down, I'll be real with you. But if you're trying to auto, like, you could probably run like 2 Tokinatas and 2 Soifons, and you should be able to auto Inheritance Zone just fine, as long as you transcend. I gotta give that warning, as long as you transcend the units. But I mean, that's pretty much it. I don't know how many characters I covered. I just wanted to do the top 10 for the clickbait, you feel me? But like, overall, Heart, in my opinion, is pretty stacked in terms of just like character diversity, right? Like, Shuhei is gonna be able to fill the void of ranged melee. Lori is going to be able to fill the void for range characters, and Mugetsu is going to be able to collab no affiliation and holo killers alike. If you have like the headband, putting it on Ichigo is not going to be too shabby. I forget if it's the headband or the nerd glasses. I get those two confused because I don't really use them. But those are actually very, very, very good to use. Aside from that, Kenpachi might not be too shabby, but like if you're trying to speedrun, Kenpachi might be Kenpachi would be very good. But like usually I try to take a more defensive approach to Extreme Co-op. For me, Extreme Co-op is like a marathon instead of like a race. We try to clear as fast as possible, but I try to mindlessly do it too. Like sitting there and like paying attention the entire time makes me want to kill myself. Like, I'm not gonna lie, like that junk's boring as hell. But I'm gonna leave it at that. You know, guys, grind on, catch up, hit me up, stay blessed. Like, comment, subscribe. You know, I hope y'all enjoyed this video. I hope this was somewhat informative for you guys that are new and starting to get into Extreme Co-op. Like I said, you do not want to farm 7th seed Extreme Co-op. 3rd seed is where you want to farm it at. If you desperately need brushes, then by all means farm 7th seed until you can buy out the shop of what you want. And then after that, just move on. Honestly, I mean, it is what it is. It's unfortunate. I really hope that K-Lab changes the way that 3rd seed Extreme Co-op plays, because back in the day, and I hate to do some history lesson, back in the day, Extreme Co-op, like 3rd seed, wasn't really too crazy to get to. Like, there was a lot less players with the same amount of people. Like, okay. There was a lot less players in the community, which means that a higher percentage was able to go to 3rd seat and lieutenants. And then, obviously, captains and head captains, right? But now that we have a large amount of people, K-Lab has failed to adjust PvP rankings in order to suffice for the influx of people that have joined the game in the last 4 years. Or is it 3 years? They did do a PvP ranking revamp sometime a long time ago, but it's been so long that I honestly don't even remember. But I'm gonna leave it at that. Stay blessed, y'all, and I'll see y'all in the next one. Peace.